Hi, my name is Stormy, and I wanted to bring you along on a journey showing you how I'm studying my Bible right now. As you know, I had a wreck and I broke my elbow, and so studying my Bible is a little bit difficult. But with my iPad, I can do a lot of things. So today I am looking at Luke 19. The first phrase says, after telling this story. After telling what story? So I go back and I look at the rest of Luke 19. So Jesus was telling a story against the Pharisees. It's called the parable of the 10 servants, I believe, but it's definitely against the Pharisees and how they were hating on the Son of God, and they knew better. They didn't like this so much. But after telling this story, Jesus went on toward Jerusalem. Went on toward Jerusalem from where? So again, I go back and I look at the text ahead of it. I scroll all the way up to the beginning of Luke 19. Jesus and Zacchaeus, we know him. He was from Jericho. So I'm going to write that down in my notes as well. Thank you, good old Apple Pencil, which allows me to do this one-handed so that I can still study my Bible and enjoy Jesus and make it through this broken elbow. So he's walking ahead of his disciples. He came to the town of Bethphage, which is a suburban area of Jerusalem, just outside. It would kind of be like Granbury or Benbrook in comparison to Fort Worth if you're from Texas. Bethany, I also recognize this one. If you're familiar, Lazarus, Mary, Martha, some of his really good friends lived in Bethany. Bethany was actually located on the Mount of Olives. He spent a lot of time in that area as well. So, later I did a little bit of research and found out that really between Bethphage and Bethany, it's only about 2 miles. So, this is kind of like walking from one end of my town to the other. Anywho, he sends 2 disciples ahead. Who? Luke never tells us who. I'm going to need to research that and see if I can figure out in other Gospels if it tells us who, but we don't know. Anyway, he says, go into the village over there. As you enter it, you will see a young donkey tied there that no one has ever ridden. Untie it, bring it here. If anyone asks why you're untying that colt, just say the Lord needs it. So Jesus was pretty specific. He said, go. That word never really means anything else. Just go. Be obedient. He tells them specifically where to go. But they're familiar with this area, so they would know as you enter it, they would know what that means. And he tells them that they're gonna see a young donkey tied there. And I don't know if you know anything about donkeys, but it makes 0 sense for Jesus to want a young donkey, except that there is more to the story. Hold, please. Look here, it says that no one has ever ridden. Again, if you know anything about donkeys, this is not ideal. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, maybe it's a miracle. And because I'm taking notes one-handed, I'm going to go ahead and turn this sideways and just kind of write out my thoughts. If you're ever studying your Bible and you don't know what's going on, go ahead and write down that thought. You never know when God will bring it back to you or answer it later on. I wrote down, why keep a donkey you don't ride? Like, why would the owner keep a donkey he doesn't ride? Anyway, Jesus tells them to untie it, bring it here. Bring it here, where is that? Also, if he's telling them to bring it here, that means that the group is stopped. Where are they stopped? Last we saw, they were in good old Bethany. Look at that. So context clues, yay. Then Jesus says, if anyone asks, I think stuff like this is really comical. When Jesus says the word if, it just kind of like breaks my brain because Jesus always knows. Like, what if Jesus had said, okay, so they're gonna ask, why are you taking my donkey? But he didn't say that. Jesus always likes to prepare us because, again, why? People love to ask this question. I always zero in on the word why because we ask this question so much. People need to understand. We need to understand even things that aren't our business. So why is an important question? Jesus doesn't explain. He says, just say. Does that ever happen to you? Are you ever like chatting with Jesus and He tells you what to do, but doesn't bother explaining it. I don't know. This gets me. Maybe because I'm too nosy. Anyway, he says, just say the Lord needs it. So that's what they do. In the next video, I'm going to go ahead and continue with this passage. I hope this helps you understand how I study.